Today on the podcast, I'm sitting down with a DJ, curator, label head, and community radio figure whose fingerprints are all over the Naarm underground. He's one half of Wax'o Paradiso, the DJ duo and party series and record label he runs alongside Edd Fisher, known for throwing parties with top-tier curation in some of the city's most memorable places. Beyond that, he's a driving force behind Skylab Radio, the community station he co-founded with Gus Carmichael in 2018, which is now celebrating its 8th year. Taking his DJ craft pretty much everywhere, with the honours of contributing to Resident Advisor Mix Series as part of Wax'o, and of course the epic closing set at Meredith in December last year. For Simon and Ed, this slot couldn't have been more deserved. It's a pleasure to sit down with someone who's spent over a decade contributing heavily to the infrastructure that this scene runs on. I'm thrilled to sit down with Simon TK.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Very, very pumped.
Thanks for the kind words. I've never heard my resume. Takes so long.
If I can send it to you if you like.
Oh, please don't.
If you need to redo your resume, it's just like, there you go. No, but as I said to you before, it's really cool when it's someone you're someone that me along as well as many people look up to. But since we've become friends and hung out and everything, it was fun kind of like doing a bit of research on you and reading all these bits and pieces from, there was a lot of stuff published from like 2017, 2018. There's a lot of sort of, I feel like that was the teens was very magazine sort of era. Like I remember like Form Mag and a few of the other magazines, they would publish a lot of stuff. Anyway, a lot of the stuff I was reading was around then, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm well. We've just had a pretty busy couple of months at the radio. As you mentioned, it was a pretty big year last year. Kind of coming up for air in a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
Things are good.
As in like hitting winter, it's kind of chilling out a little bit. I feel like you're about to go overseas, aren't you?
I am. Coming up for air, like it's such a seasonal scene here. Like it does, all the festivals are clustered in the warmer months, and there's generally more parties and stuff on. So normally take a little bit of a break over winter, but it kind of hasn't stopped as well this year. Like I'm going on a trip next week, and we've just Wax'o Ed and I have just finished up like quite a lot of just like short interstate trips. So we've been away quite a lot. So feeling
Dark Mofo.
We did 2 weekends off.
Yeah, how was?
Unreal. Yeah, so good.
We played all night in like a sort of a bar listening. I don't know. I remember seeing like just a really beautiful looking sound system. And what was it?
It's we did 2 events each weekend. So the first event was like a club show. And then the second event was in this like, I want to say listening bar, but it's kind of more like a showroom for these speakers that they make down there, Pit and Giblin.
Yeah, Pit and Giblin, nice.
People from Naarm might know their speakers from like Wax Flower or other venues, but they make them all down there and put a lot of care into them, and it sounds incredible. So that was like kind of a nice B-side to the club night, to just go and take some records down and
totally
play some nice music.
Yeah, sick. I usually like to start the chat with how we met. The funny thing is, actually, do you remember when we met for the first time?
I'm hoping that it's not Baby G's 30th.
No. It was actually when it was probably even funnier form, I would say.
No.
It was
edit this part out.
It was at the Penny Black, I reckon. You and Penny rolled in pretty hot after.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was the first time I actually met you. I was playing, and next minute you and Penny are like dancing on the sub in front of me, and it was hard to like concentrate. I was playing records at the time. I remember
very well. I might add. we were both like, I was like, wow,
it was the alcohol.
So
that's the alcohol.
No. It was the tunes. I guarantee. I can still remember through my haze. But yeah, we were steaming that night.
Yeah, it was because you guys were recording something together and ended up just continuing and rolling down, I think, from memory.
Yes, we had to record a mix, and we thought that we would, to get into the headspace of DJing in a club or a festival, we would I'm for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to say recreate some of that, the ambience of such an situation. So when we finished the mix, we were pretty lit.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. But yeah, that was actually the first time we met. But yeah, I mean, we've hung out a bit since, but I also just am keen to know, like, where did it all start for you? I mean, doing a lot of research on you, it was, you've been in the scene for a while, but take us back to a young Simon TK, getting
TK.
exposed to just music in general.
Yeah, well, I guess I've always been around it. Like, grew up in a pretty musical family. Like, was always put onto like, I think pretty good music from my mom, and then like I was kind of also raised by an auntie and uncle who had like, they were both music teachers, and they would put me onto heaps of amazing stuff as well. So there was a lot of like funk and soul and jazz, and then a lot of like classic rock stuff in the household. And then kind of high school years, kind of was listening to everything that a teenager listens to, but kind of also had a brief time of going to like all ages punk and hardcore shows, which I think kind of showed me the energy of like a super high energy club space, or a gig space, which was like pretty formative in its own way. And then as the cliche goes, you kind of come of some kind of age and get into dance music. And it was always like dance music was like a dirty word when I was in high school. Like you didn't mess with it. Like it was
really,
like, yeah, it was like us and them, and like just how funny that is in retrospect. But it was just started going out to clubs and going out to some of the early festivals as well, like the early Nirvanikas and like even that Rainbow Serpent was like pretty formative kind of. Penny and I went there for years on end, just locking into all the.
Were you Psy main stage or?
Yeah, main stage was Psy, and then they had like another
market stage.
Market stage was kind of like prog coded, but like a lot of like kind of techno as well. And then there was moments of tech house throughout, and then there was also other stages which would have a lot of like more like Goa and like kind of.
Where were you hanging out?
Mostly Market, but then some of the Sunset stage programming was where we saw a lot of like the like old Goa producers that we would love, like
Sunkite.
Yeah, I reckon we would have seen Sunkite.
Sunkite played their live set there once.
That was probably Market, I reckon. But yeah. Then the production on that stage was just like, even now it would be pretty specky, but back then I was just like, this is wild. So I was doing like that over on one side, and then kind of also still having this like pretty solid lineage of like disco and house kind of like lineage of music on the other. So they kind of coexisted. And then
it still kind of remains that way in the way that you DJ. I mean, I've seen you play as part of like Wax'o in particular, like when you're playing more sort of disco realm, and then like see you play with Penny and you're like fucking going for it. Like, playing like, I remember, I think the first time I reckon I watched you guys live was maybe, I want to say the Gaso Final Party, I reckon.
Final Party, yeah. Like probably hadn't played together that much before that, but have just always like, shared that like taste in that kind of music, because we used to date as well.
Yeah,
but
funnily enough, she said, ask Simon about when we used to date.
Yeah. So we used to date. But yeah, so kind of had like that upbringing of going to like side doofs and stuff together.
Couple goals.
But yeah, and then like the Gaso crew asked us to play, and we're like, let's fucking go. And then,
sick. It was epic. I think I remember Penny was like embarrassed afterwards because she thought that there was like less time left, and so she played like a big sort of.
Sorry, Penny, but we played what I think we both thought was like a really fun set, and then she closed on like Till I Come, and it was like a moment, and it was like euphoric, and the energy in that room was already just so amazing.
It was nuts.
It was like we sang goodbye to this venue, and there was like sweat and tears, just like everyone was just like dripping wet.
Yeah.
And then she played the song and like went to like leave, and I was like, oh, we're playing for an hour and a half, like there's still half an hour to go. So she had to like run it back and get back into, and then we were like straight back into this kind of like proggy kind of high energy club mode. But it worked. But I think everyone clocked it. Like everyone was like, that happened.
Yeah, so good because
It added to the moment.
Yeah, totally. It's great. It was, and you guys just were having so much fun up there. I remember I was like very front left, like squished. It was so busy in there. That was just like at capacity in like every room. That was the thing. I've spoken about this on the podcast before, but like every room you went into, usually you can go into a room and have a break and like a breather, but every room was just like full
tilt.
Yeah, it was epic.
No, I had a great time. I loved playing with Penny, so it was good fun.
With like, I want to go back to where you sort of being exposed to music and everything. When did you start actually sort of DJing? I remember I think Penny was saying that she learnt or was given decks or turntables or something from maybe you guys or something like that. But where did it start for you?
I started DJing like pretty soon out of high school. So I don't know, it was pretty organic. Like I think just like one of my friends had decks and I just like started playing around on them, and as soon as I did that, I was like, oh, this is it. Like this is the vibe. This is what I want to do. And then it was just kind of gradual from there, you know. Spent a lot of time playing warm-up sets to a lot of empty rooms. Yeah, just kind of grew and grew.
What sort of clubs were you? What do you remember your first gig?
Oh, I don't remember my first gig. I remember me and a friend from school ran an after party at for like our school formal.
Yeah.
And that I didn't even think we went to the formal, but we ran the after party, and like we were like young promoters, and we like went like ran this party and tried to like sell tickets and stuff. And then I didn't realize until many years later that the place that we did that was what then turned into like Colour, or yours and mine.
Yeah.
Because it was just down the road from our school. So like that kind of stuff, just like, you know, teenage house party friends and stuff. But then the clubs where I first used to actually DJ were probably like the Merkat was probably
nice.
Like an early kind of home. And then Hugs and Kisses as well. Those two clubs were probably the genesis of the club scene that I came from, and what informed me a lot, and the places that we all treasure, you know.
Yeah. Why were those clubs so good, do you think?
It's interesting. Like, it'd be so interesting to be able to go back there now, like just drop in to like that era, and look at it through our lens now, because the scene here is incredible, but we are always kind of like romanticize these venues, and I do wonder if they were as good as we remember them, or if there is a kind of like rose-tinted memory thing going on. But Merkat was sound, like just the size and like the geometry of the room with these, like, it was probably the first club that I remember that had like a really well-tuned Function 1 system.
Okay.
And it was a small room with a low ceiling. So it was just like basement vibes. Yeah. And just music forward. Like, wasn't particularly about like the crowd or it was just music lovers of all kinds and just like locking in. And this was around the time of the Animals Dancing parties and label, and they had a party called C Grade, which I was an early kind of warm-up resident of, and that's where I kind of like, one of the first gigs I ever had. Shout out Otto Logic and Tornado Wallace.
Yeah, big shout out
for having me. And like super influential DJs to me in their own right, like really kind of, I guess like normalized like eclectic DJing. Like this is around the time where, you know, it was quite normal to play disco music, techno music, like trance, fucking anything, like guitar music, post-punk, anything in the club. And there weren't really nights that had like one sound so much, whereas like you go there expecting to hear everything. You might hear like Brazilian music at like 5 a.m. and the place would go off. Cool. You know, so like that, it was special for those reasons, I think. And they had got some pretty amazing artists to come through to play a small club on the other side of the world. So great bookings as well. And then Hugs was like kind of almost like a flip. Like the sound system was garbage. So bad. But the place was so freaky and so fun. And like, used to run a party there with Paul Yeager called XOXO Presents, and then another one called Club Deranged, which kind of became pretty big part of our lives, along with Harold from Steeplejack. And yeah, that was like just, I don't know, that club was just home for so many. It was just awesome. It was more about the vibe than the system. Still very music forward, but it was also about the crowd and yeah, super queer, super fluid, very, very loose rules, like around everything, smoking, drugs, sex. Like it was just all kind of pretty, it was sick. It was so good. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I love that because they're two sort of not polar opposites, but like very different ends of the spectrum as clubs that were part of your formative years. Yeah, so you kind of got the best of like both worlds in terms of like energy and like vibe as well as, but like in different realms, like from like a community perspective versus like, I mean, they're both community perspective. It's so
they both had community around them for sure, but like different emphases, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting. Good. Both sounds like great clubs to be involved with. I'm shattered that I just missed Merkat, like, I don't know, by a few years, but yeah, I'm very sad about that. We had Fake Chow. Do you remember that club, Basement, down in Geelong?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have heard of that.
Yeah, it was like iconic, very sort of similar realm to Merkat by the sounds of things. Like
they probably shared some tours and stuff.
Yeah, the first artist I saw when I went in there was Len Facky. Like,
oh wow,
just randomly, us like underage, didn't know anything about anything. And I looked back at the lineup and it was him playing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. They've had like Jeff Mills and yeah, it's wild. Small, good sound. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, wicked.
When did the whole Wax'o thing start? Because I mean, that's become, you know, a huge part of obviously your life, but a lot of people's. You know, you guys run really, really successful community-driven parties, but you know, yourself and Ed have really created something from like a professional, I guess, point of view as a DJ duo. You know, you guys have done, as I said in the intro, you know, mixes for Resident Advisor and, you know, taking your craft to some really amazing places around the world and festivals. Where did all of that start? And I guess, like, how did it all start?
Oh, like, actually by accident.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's so funny hearing it said like that. I'm like, but so Wax'o was started with 3 people.
Andy as well, wasn't it?
Andy, yeah. Like Andy, who Penny introduced me to, was Andy and I were hanging out and we got asked to produce like a record fair for this like company that a winemaker that wanted to do like a record fair with like music and food, and so we're like, yeah, we'll do it. So we got all the record stores in Naarm to do stalls. We booked DJs all day. Penny and I actually cooked for the whole event, so I think we did like these like real nice like meatball subs for everyone. It was like super early days, but like super cute. Like it was a really fun day, and we didn't have a name for it, so we called it Wax'o Paradiso.
Cool.
Which was just a name that we plucked out of thin air.
Yeah.
And we booked Edd to DJ, who we kind of like knew through like music stuff, but we certainly weren't like close with or rolling in the same circles or anything. And then Edd was like, that was a super fun day. I've got a date at Section 8. Do you guys want to run a party? And we're like, sure. And then we did that. And then it was really successful. And there was like a line around the corner. And then it grew like a little bit by little bit from that, which was like a party for like 100 people.
Cool.
And then it would grow like by not many people each time. Like we never really did a big jump or anything. It just slowly grew. And then this was like, I'm going to sound old, but this was like probably like 13, 14 years ago or something. So, you know, we've had a bit of time for it to become what it is. And yeah. And then before you know it, it's like kind of my job.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like with diving down the party's point of view first, like, I feel like with you guys are really focused on quality over quantity in terms of like how many parties you run. Like, obviously over summer you've got a few, but you know, there's a lot, as I alluded to earlier, like they're always in like a really cool location. You got Abbotsford Convent and those sort of places, but like there's always really good sounds, really well thought out lineups and just the crowd that sort of have come to be part of that community. It's always a great crowd. I guess, did you guys have a particular vision when starting it out and starting to run parties in terms of like what you wanted it to look like, or is it just kind of happen organically?
I think we do now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think over, like, as we kind of started doing it, we're like, that's either us or not us.
Yeah.
So we kind of always maybe knew on some level, but if you look back at some of the early parties, they didn't resemble the current ones very much at all. But yeah, we always just kind of knew our lane and what we wanted to do. Like you mentioned, like the quality over quantity thing, like that's just kind of like, I think we've always tried to be aware of like how much people want to come to these things and not do more than that. If like, it sounds so silly, but like, yeah, if like we have a party maybe at like the end of the season, where, you know, people have like been going to parties and festivals for like months and months and months, and everyone's pretty exhausted. And if that one is like doesn't sell so well, or if people kind of like aren't really up for it, then we're like, okay, like that's too many, you know, and so like rein it back, like, you know, always keep the price super low. Low price is extremely important to us. Always outdoors, so that it can sound as nice as possible. And that's kind of it. It's just like, that's the formula. And then the crowd just grew over time, so that like every new person that came was kind of like entering like something that was kind of already established. So it kind of like the crowd grew up together in a way. So now there's like an age gap of like, you know, 50 to 70 on the dance floor, which is, sorry, like 20 to 70.
Yeah.
15 to 70 would be wild as well.
I was like reflecting on the last Wax'o party.
I'm like, not gonna say my age, but
I was like, I don't recall that being the sort of vibe, but like he's the one managing the tickets.
yeah. I see the data.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. With like the thing that I guess really admire about it as well is, obviously you mentioned that you do them outdoors and, you know, some pretty amazing spaces, but like, you know, a lot of work goes into that. From, obviously you got to drop in your own stuff, but what's the process in terms of like, I mean, you don't have to go to the full nitty gritty because it would probably talk for a long time and it's kind of almost boring chat, but like permits and like liquor licensing and all that, like, does that take a long time to get, or like once you've got it, like, how does that work?
I can't have this conversation without shouting out Volley Spot. I think that it got to a point, and this was like quite a few years ago now, where we realized, well, firstly we were moving from spaces that were already licensed but outdoors to spaces that needed to be fully produced from scratch. So like you needed to bring in your own bars, toilets, infrastructure, PA, staff, security, everything. And then so we started to partner up with Volley Spot, who have done a lot of parties throughout the Naarm kind of landscape. But we work super closely on them on almost all of our parties. So they do that stuff. They're absolute wizards at it. They're so good. They permits to security to, and then we work with them to kind of like create the tone of a Wax'o event. So the right security teams, the right bars, the right menus and everything. But then that allows Edd to focus and I to focus on like sound, programming, lighting, like guests, all that kind of stuff. So
I mean, because that's
it's too big now for two people to do.
So. Exactly. Because that's the thing. I'm always like, I don't understand. Like, you guys are also busy yourselves, like, you know, DJing and, you know, Edd's at Angel doing his thing. You're Skylab, like you know, you're spinning a lot of plates, which we'll get to in a minute. But how do you split it up with you guys in terms of like creatively, and like, are you working on everything together, or is it like you playing to each other's strengths? Like, what's the dynamic?
Me and Edd?
You and Edd, yeah.
I think that we have a good mix of collaboration and playing to each other's strengths. Certainly where there are areas that we are both like have different skill sets in, and then we just like, we'll go like you got this, you go do that. But I think the pleasure of the collaboration is that we do things together. So it's a mix of both, but certainly like, I mean, all the big decisions and the fun stuff we all do together.
Yeah.
But then sometimes for like the little things we split up and yeah, I think we're a good team.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah,
we've been doing it for what, 10
like
years?
family. We've been doing it for so long.
Yeah. 10 years was Abbotsford Convent 10-year Wax'o event, wasn't it? Am I right?
Yeah, which was a couple of years ago now. So yeah.
So longer than 10. Yeah. Is it true at the Abbotsford Convent you have to be wary of the goats? The baby goats at the children's farm with sound checks.
The children's farm, there's a
whole
bunch of animal related bureaucracy that you got to, but it's so cute. They're like, you can't sound check at this time because we're like putting the guinea pigs to bed or something. Like it's like so, I'm like, that's a good reason.
Yeah, fair.
It's like when all the like the illegal park parties were getting affected by like the baby bats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are like the most like super like DIY, really important subversive spaces. And often they can be unsafe spaces as well. But then everyone across the board was like, "Nah, we don't fuck with the baby bats."
Yeah,
like, no more parties. And that was good to see.
Yeah, it was.
So, the children's farm has some animal related red tape. The convent is more just like all the buildings are like heritage listed, and there's lots of like gardens that we have to kind of like make sure we don't trample and
it's a beautiful space.
Yeah, we're so lucky to be able to do parties there.
But I guess from a Wax'o perspective, how you spoke about it before, like 10 plus years in, the music scene is always evolving. I mean, you spoke about the days of the Merkat and Hugs and Kisses and stuff, and how the scene is now. Like it's vastly different in many ways. But how do you manage to continue to evolve with the scene whilst running Wax'o and being sort of tuned into everything? Like, how have you managed to like keep that, I guess, like identity and I guess continue to grow like with that change? Like,
it's a good question. I think that for me it would actually work out quite well because, as I mentioned before, we were running parties at like Merkat and Hugs that were pretty heavy, like musically. So at times, whereas Wax'o at the start was like day parties, very like summery. It was like a lot of like boogie and disco, like a lot of music, like it was all vinyl. It was like a lot of music from the 70s and 80s, and then some house and stuff like that, and it was pretty balearic as well. But like it certainly wasn't like clubby. But I had like these other parties that were kind of like outlets for that, and we were playing a lot of like industrial and EBM and techno and trance and stuff. So when those parties kind of like wrapped up, I'm speaking personally, not for Edd, but like it was kind of, as the general tastes got heavier, I just kind of like incorporated more of that into what we were doing with Wax'o.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then when I'm DJing under my own name, I play whatever I want. But so that was kind of organic. It just kind of worked. I didn't think there was much appetite, and I don't think I would want to play all disco music anymore at this time in my life. I still love it so much, but it happened in a good way. I'd rather it happen that way than the other way around.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and as DJs yourselves, obviously both talented in your own right, but being able to play together, I mean, sharing the booth with someone is like, I prefer playing with someone personally. I don't know about you, but I prefer that. But being able to, and obviously your friendship with Edd is like family now, but being able to play somewhere like, firstly Golden Plains in 2017, and then
that was when there was 3 of us as well.
So, yeah. Okay, so you, Edd, and Andy playing Golden Plains, amazing festival, but Meredith, being able to close Meredith last year. It was last year, wasn't it?
It was in December.
Yeah, December. Like, talk us through that. Like, I guess for those listening, if you haven't been to Meredith, do you maybe want to give a bit of an outline on like why that is so special to be able to close a festival like that?
Yeah, I can big up Meredith for sure. I mean, it's like, I think it's my favorite festival ever. Like, maybe in Ivanka, but it's a 1-stage festival, and it happens twice a year. Meredith and Golden Plains are very similar for non-Australian based or non-Naarm based listeners. and they have such a beautifully diverse music program, but like really, really high caliber bookings, and also such a support for local emerging artists as well, all on the one stage. So everyone, 10,000+ people are all listening to things as a kind of common like experience. And I remember like one of the first festivals that I went to and was just blown away by it. And I was like, this is all I want to do. All I want to do is play this festival. And then when we got asked to do it, I was just like, I was on a hike. I remember it. And like we got a call and I was like literally jumping up and down. And then when we got the Meredith booking, I went to Edd and I was like, oh, like, what an honor it is to play this festival twice. Like, I just thought I didn't think that was possible. Like, I'm just humbled and gassed. And Edd was like, I've played it 3 times. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, just like big moment for me, like whatever. But he's goated. He's played the SUP 3 times. So anyway, yeah, the first time we played was like kind of nighttime set between bands.
Yeah. Elsie did that. Is that the one that Elsie did?
Elsie played interstitial and tore the absolute roof off it. We did play on the main stage, but it was after like was like Neil Finn played and like the Madness, like UK Ska Band and like a bunch of other stuff. So it was kind of like still in band coded territory. Whereas in December we had the pleasure and privilege of playing the 5 till 7 a.m. after High and Rona had both played. So it was very like, it was clubby, it was the end of the night. And that set has always kind of been traditionally a local DJ will play it, and they will play like a pretty broad range of music, and it'll be kind of like, a closing set. And it was, probably the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
I was like crying on stage.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I can only imagine. Like it's, I think I saw maybe Moopy closed, I reckon, that year.
Yeah, he definitely played. I don't know if it was closed, but I was there. It
was maybe like 2019 or something. Realm.
Absolutely
maybe?
killed it. It was
I can't remember who closed that year. But anyway, but it is a magical time. I mean, the SUP itself is, you just have to go. I've only been once, and every time it rolls around, like, I mean, Golden Plains always falls on pitch weekend, and I'm kind of now working a bit at pitch, so it's kind of like hard. And obviously Ella's involvement in pitch, and just spent a lot of time there. But Meredith falls in every time. I've often been to like Strawberry, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it at like festival or whatever, but I think I'm committing.
Got to back it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to commit this year.
Yeah.
But anyway, how do you go about like the thought process of, playing a closing set and like also being at that festival and going to that festival for so long and like seeing other people who have closed it and, experiencing that? Like, how did you and Edd sort of think about it all? Did you like fully plan it, or like was it more on the fly? Like, how did you go with it?
We definitely planned it. We planned it. Like we talked a lot about it, but we'd actually just come out of this period of, it was like we did the RA podcast, and we never ever do like recorded mixes like at home or in a studio. Like we always just publish recordings of our live sets. So it was kind of the first one we've ever done, the RA one. So and we were like, it kind of took everything out of us. Like it was very, very hard to get into any kind of like zone that kind of felt like right or like us. And so we were kind of, not only had been like, we'd been in the studio kind of doing that, but we were also like kind of exhausted from doing that. And we're like, okay, here's the fun one, Meredith. Like, let's back it up. Let's go. But it kind of planned itself because we'd been going for so many years, and like the lore of that space is so coded to all of the genres and bands and kind of like evolution of music there, that it was just awesome to be able to like, oh, what about this in the SUP? What about this in the SUP? Whereas the RA mix is kind of this like printed kind of like example of like who you are to the rest of the world. Whereas this is our like a festival that I've been going to since I was like 17. Like I've been thinking about what I would close it with since I was 17. Like just play that.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Mixes are so stressful, especially something like RA. You obviously internalize a lot of stuff with mixes, but like you just think that people are sitting there just going like,
yeah, they are. They fucking are.
No, they're not. That's what I tell myself.
I've seen
anyway.
that guy on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
But no, it must have been a surreal feeling. Is it true that are we going to see Wax'o Dystopia ever again? Do you think?
Well, I mean, no. Yeah, I think that you kind of sometimes do, like, but we just call it Wax'o Paradiso. But
yeah,
we
such a sick name.
Actually, around that time where like we were kind of absorbing a lot of the energy from these parties that stopped, like Club Derange, was around the time where we started doing Wax'o Dystopia. It was originally down in Nipaluna, like during Dark Mofo for like we did Wax'o Dystopia parties, and then we did like a pitch festival, like Sunrise, a few years in a row. And I think we did a couple of parties like in Naarm as well. But it just kind of, we started playing heavier as Wax'o. So it felt like there was less of a kind of, wasn't a binary.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would love to do more Wax'o Dystopia stuff. We actually did play under Wax'o Dystopia for PGZ for Ecstatic Mob.
Oh yeah,
recently.
Cool.
And we're like, if we're gonna dust the hat off for anyone, it'll be Paul.
Yeah, respect.
Big up Paul. But yeah, I don't know. Someone book us as Wax'o Dystopia, we'll do it.
I could chew your ear off about Wax'o all day, but I really want to, in the interest of time as well, I really want to speak to you about Skylab. Obviously, started that back in 2018. How did all of that come about? I believe some of the inspiration was come from NTS. Is that correct? Yeah. So,
hugely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, community radio, there's some amazing community radio stations around town. This gets aired on one of them, Area 3000, but obviously got PBS as well, Triple R, etc., and Skylab. But I've definitely missed some. But how did all of that come about? And I guess like, what was obviously inspired by NTS, but like, why did you want to do it?
Such a good question. I think like for anyone that's not from here, for anyone that's from here, doesn't quite realize how good we've got it in terms of radio. Like even just having these two kind of like quite huge independent stations like PBS and Triple R is not a normal thing for most cities, in most big cities, plus then to have all of the smaller independent stations, of which there are so many. We're just so lucky. So we were growing up and we were like huge NTS fans. But the experience of listening to these FM band stations that we love so much was pretty like live focused. So you're listening in your car or you're listening in the moment, less so on demand. Lots of people do listen on demand, but this was like a mix of like, it's kind of like a hybrid form of like radio listening and like listening to a mix or something that's been like very, very carefully curated with a track list by someone on the other side of the world that you only have access through this platform.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to shout out Noise in My Head as well. Like Noise in My Head was a huge influence, like what Michael Cusick was doing with his then blog. Like this is the time of blogs, a time where like blogs were a form of musical discovery, and I would be like going on these wonderful, wonderful blogs that would teach me about eras of music and have music to download and listen to. So we wanted to do something that like kind of had its own lane. We wanted to fit in with all the other radio stations in Naarm, but archiving was a huge part of it. Like having a body of what was happening that people, decades from now could go and look at with a track list and be like, that's that person, they were doing this, and kind of print it in a way that was easy to navigate. Having said all of that, we had no idea what we were doing. And so it's taken us 8 years of just like trial and error and blood, sweat and tears to kind of like figure out like what's up. And we still don't really know what's up, but I think we're in a groove now, and we've got a really lovely team and a lovely home at High Note. And yeah, it feels good.
Yes, I admire you guys. I mean, being part of a community radio station and having a show on one, like I do understand, I guess the ins and outs and the challenges that are associated with it. Like, I mean, streaming in itself, like that, I'm sure you've had many technical difficulties and hiccups over the years. Touch wood. Yeah, shit. I've had plenty on this show, but when you're streaming live on a community radio station, like it definitely has its challenges. But no, I think like what you've been able to do and create for people is amazing, and it's also just like a great way to connect with people, whether that's like bonding over a show or on the live chat or whatever. It is such a unique space, and I think that in particular, like over the last year or so, it's been a massive year for you guys. And I feel like the whole sort of city and the wider community really rallied behind Skylab. But do you mind going into, I guess, like why you were creating a fundraiser around Skylab and what it was contributing to?
Yeah, totally. I'll keep it brief because I don't think it's extremely interesting the why of it, but basically like this platform, like a online platform that we use to kind of like manage the back end of the website. They just like they became overnight like incredibly expensive.
Okay.
And like Skylab generates not heaps of money, and our overheads aren't like extremely high, and it's like a knife's edge, like it's really the smallest costs can be really stressful, and this was like a huge cost. So this cost was like, you might have to stop the station unless you can fix this issue.
Yeah, wow.
And because we've got 8 years of material that's like embedded into this platform, not only could we couldn't just start a new platform, we had to like rebuild the whole website, migrate everything over. And it turned out to be an extremely expensive and difficult thing to do. And so out to the wonderful team at Skylab, a few people in particular, Mia and Elsie, really just were like, we can do this. Like, let's do it. Mia in particular has like a lot of fundraising like experience through their kind of like activist kind of circles, and
Cool.
Really was the kind of the impetus to get it going. And so for the first time ever, we did like a "We Need Your Help" kind of campaign, where like it's like, this isn't like a yearly like subscriber drive or whatever. This is like a SOS, like help us or we won't be here.
Yeah.
Which is really beautiful to see. And we had like a couple of months of like really kind of like a mix of like more grassroots backyard events to like raffles and and then we had like a big open air party as well. So we just did everything that we could think of and everything that we could do, and the community rallied and then some. Like we really reached our target, and we're okay.
Yeah, I mean it must have felt such. I mean, I remember speaking to you at the Jungle Jungles event, and like you're like, yeah, like it's gone really well, and I was just like so pleased to hear that, because yeah, I mean it's nothing worse than seeing something that's so important to so many people close down, whether that's a venue, or a radio station. It is always really sad, and I'm glad you were able to make it work.
Thank you.
That's great. It's
awesome. Still here.
Yeah. I think the thing that comes to mind for me when someone's had a project for so long, like, I guess like the question for me is like, what do you think over the course, like you may have already answered it. What do you think you're most proud of when it comes to Skylab?
Now, like the team, like the crew that we have and the community around that, like I've met some of my closest friends through Skylab, and yeah, you can't mess with that. It's just so good. Community, I guess.
Yeah.
Pinch a lot of tracks as well.
Yeah. In terms of yourself, like you are spinning so many plates and doing so much all the time. Do you ever get burnt out?
Firstly, I think it might look like I'm busier from the outside than I am. But like, thank you for all of the big ups. I do sometimes like get burnt out. Like I think when things kind of coincide, like having if Ed and I are playing or touring a lot, and then something big happens with the radio, then that can be pretty intense. But there's a lot of like downtime as well. Like there's plenty of time to kind of keep a balance going. But yeah, sometimes it gets hard. But all of these things are collaborations. Like none of it's just me. So there's so many awesome, talented people that are all just like helping each other out. So if I've got to dip out and do shows, like Elsie's right there, Ed's right there, Gus is right there. So we all and likewise, like goes both ways. And
nice.
Yeah.
I guess it all just comes back, like that whole overarching thing is like community and like the importance of what a good community can bring to the table from like a support perspective and growth perspective.
Yeah.
I guess like, yeah, it's funny. Like when you think about people and individuals and I guess like crews within like the scene in general, like you think of Simon TK, like one of the main things I think of is like community, because it's like everything that you do is like with other people or like representing people and, working in collaboration with people, even like, Jungle Jungles, like not even music related. Like I feel like you're always such a big sort of member of the community, but helping grow other parts of the community, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Just like from an observational perspective, as well as being a fucking awesome DJ, it's like nice bonus. Not just like this
I don't
guy.
know what to say to that. I'm like,
not just this guy making meatball subs. Like he can DJ too.
Honestly, I should have kept to that though. They were really good subs.
One last question before we get to some quick fire questions before we wrap up. If Wax'o and Skylab, touching wood here, were to just like stop tomorrow, what would you like them, overarching, both of them, to be remembered?
Oh my goodness, that is a diabolical question.
Like someone's sitting around. We're sitting around we're sitting around a campfire, just being like, "Fuck, do you remember Wax'o? Fuck, how good was Wax'o?" And then the next person that comes out of the person's mouth be like, "They were so good at."
I think that, like, I don't know. This question messes me up, but maybe like authenticity, like just pick like doing what you do and doing it, like just
right,
knowing your lane and making sure that it's coming from a place of like having something to say and wanting to say it. I don't know, like Wax'o, like good parties.
Yeah. I mean,
Skylab, like good radio.
Yeah, no, I reckon you've answered that really well. Like authenticity, I think that shines through as well. Yeah, well answered. It's a tough question. Yeah,
hell of a question.
I kind of like the sort of ones that really scratch someone's brain.
Yeah.
Like,
you didn't put that on the list of questions you sent over before,
yeah,
did you?
sorry about that.
No, we need to stitch up.
We have a segment on here called Ricky's Quickies, and it's just quick fire questions.
Let's hot wings style. Let's go.
Yeah. First record you ever bought?
Oof. Bought or owned?
Owned.
Owned was a copy of Lou Reed Transformer that my mum gave me.
Nice. Sunrise, set, or sunset?
Sunrise.
Convent or Fairfield?
Oh, sorry, Fairfield, but Convent.
Firstly, you're a Fourth Wing fan.
Yep, tell it to the world.
Zayden or Dane?
Oh, with Zayden, for sure. Yeah,
that was Ella's submission.
Thanks for it. For the podcast listeners, I'm a big fantasy nerd, and I have read these smutty books, but yeah, I'm so glad that this is going to be printed.
Yeah,
on the internet. Yeah, no, Zayden for sure. Ella.
Yeah. Ella was like, "Can you please put this in?"
Yeah.
So I was like,
"Put that on the reel."
All right. Yeah. One thing you wish someone told you when you started throwing parties?
Oh, more toilets.
Last meal on earth?
Ooh. Maybe it'd be like dumplings or like maybe just like a steak, a good steak.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any particular cut?
Not necessarily.
Nice.
Yeah. Just a steak, little steak.
How do you like your steak cooked?
Like medium rare or rare, if
on the rarer side.
On the rarer side.
Nice.
Yeah.
Current book you're reading?
I am currently reading another Daggy fantasy series. It is by Patrick Rothfuss called Name of the Wind, and I recommend it to anyone.
I think I know that one.
Yeah, I'll hook you up after the show.
Yeah, please. Have you started Red Rising or not?
No, it's on my list.
Nice.
After that kick on.
I thought you were going to say, I'm reading this really taggy book called Red Rising.
Oh yeah,
I was about
no.
Yeah, big shout out.
I'm just being shy about my fantasy fanhood.
Hey, I'm a big fantasy fan too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Window or aisle seat?
Aisle.
Nice call. One habit you're trying to break?
One habit that I'm trying to break is holding on for the headphones too long after I've finished mixing.
That's a good one.
Being a greedy boy.
Nice. Last one. If you weren't doing any of this in the music world, what would you be doing as a career, do you think?
God, Harry. I don't know. I think I would still be in something like adjacent to it. Like I was working in hospo and stuff before. I think I'd be in some kind of like nighttime economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're a night owl.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep in sort of operator?
Not always, but I like being up at night. And,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Ripping records and
ripping
making meatball subs.
ripping records to the wee hours. Just those 10-minute Ricky Nord prog burners. They suit 2 a.m. better than 2 p.m. Sue me.
No, thanks so much for sitting down with us, Simon.
Thanks for having me.
Very very honoured to chat to you, and all the best for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Big love.